let's take a look at, very quickly, if we can, at Norio's question about adverbial clauses and the tense.
Wow,
So
okay.
you've got an adverbial clause of concession, and the way that the tense works there. Though he will no longer be the boss from May, he'll continue to have a great influence on us, versus though he is no longer the boss from May. Would you say B? Do you think, Veronica? He's no longer the boss from...
I would never say that.
I think, I don't think it's impossible to say it from my
Not impossible,
point of view, but it's...
Let's just say I've
no-
never said that in my life, I'm sure.
You're sure you never... He's no longer the boss. Well, if something is... When something is sure in our minds and we've sort of planned it out, we say, well, I'm no longer teaching from September.
You know, here's something interesting, just on a little side note. You know, it was looking funny to me. I just realized, you know what? I think we've got a North American British thing here.
Possibly.
I would say from May on.
From May on. Right.
I don't think I would just say from May. It sounds like it's missing something to me.
Right.
To me.
He'll no longer be the
But,
boss
you know,
from May on.
Perhaps that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's
I think
just a little interesting side note, you know.
I think on is a good disambiguator. I mean, there are lots of things where we would say, yes, okay, you could say that, but as a non-native speaker in particular, you want to be clear. You want to get your message across as clearly as possible. So, yes, I would say A is probably the better sentence, and including on will help your meaning to communicate itself clearly. So,
here's another thing with though and although. Okay.
Right.
For me, and now I don't know if this is just a personal thing, when I'm using that word as an actual adverbial, what would I say, with its full meaning.
Right.
Although although it's raining, although it's raining, I'm still going to go to the beach, okay? But if you say, but don't forget, take an umbrella though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I use though as that kind of discourse marker.
Right.
Not really as the meaning, although. When it's the meaning, I say although.
Yeah.
What about you?
So yes, I agree. I'd say something like somebody says goodbye, and I say, okay, I say bye, and then I'd say something like, I'll see you tomorrow, though. Okay, at the end of a sentence.
Yeah, like, but I'll see you tomorrow, though. Oh, yeah, that's right. We have a meeting.
If you're introducing a clause, though I'll see you tomorrow, I shall say this. Although I'll see you tomorrow, I'll say this now. For example, I think as an introductory.
That's it, when you're introducing it.
Yeah.
I think that's
although
when
is
it's the first word like that.
It's stronger and I think more appropriate as a sentence opener with the all bit in there. Although, whereas though is something that you can tack on at the end as a sort of afterthought.
Right. Okay, so that's the though.
Right.
Now let's talk about the will or is.
Would we use?
I think that's probably your question here. So. he
Yeah.
will no longer, or he
is
no
no
longer.
longer.
It's sort of like tomorrow is Saturday. So we can use that for
We can use is for the future.
idea.
Obviously, we can use the present for the future.
And I would also say, although he isn't going to be the boss anymore.
Going to, yes, using an
that's gonna be
ing
a
form.
bit more
Yeah.
colloquial, isn't it? It sounds quite, I wouldn't say formal, but it's not casual, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't say be.
Yeah, I think
Because
it's.
it gives us the sense that it's now, not from May.
Well, yeah, but yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it does sound a little bit odd using the using the
sounds
bear
kinda
is.
now-ish,
I mean,
doesn't
if you had it with another verb, like he's not working here from May. Does that sound a bit better? Although he's not, I'm
He's
not
not going to be. I'm going to put. I would have to put in will or going to.
Yeah.
Although he isn't going to be working here from May,
Yes.
we'll still respect and honor him.
But
Yeah.
you can say things like, he isn't working here on Sunday, but I'll give him the message, referring forwards to the future. So, I mean, we can. It's a question really of the parameters. It's a very sensitive issue, I think, in terms of what a native speaker might feel is appropriate. You say he's retired from May sounds a little bit odd, but he's not here on Sunday sounds fairly normal.
So, are we bringing in time then? Are we making it closer to us? So tomorrow is Sunday.
Yes, that's true. It's
pretty close. It's pretty close. Whereas
that's true. Sunday is fairly close.
From May is like way.
It's way ahead, and it somehow doesn't seem so appropriate, does it? Yeah. Well, there's no logical.
No, May is Sunday this year.
Yeah, there's no logical grammatical reason, really. I mean, he isn't here on Sunday, but I'll tell him. He isn't working from May, but we'll still see him. They both follow the same grammatical structure, but the second one, perhaps I think the only difference is that it's much further ahead in time, and therefore it doesn't seem as if it's on the calendar in quite the same way as the weekly schedule.
I think that's it, and this is why it's really difficult to write these things in grammar books and whatnot, because there are so many different situations we find ourselves in life.
Right.
Oh, look at who's here, Ray Lewis.
Yes,
Hi,
Ray's been with us for a long time.
Perfect.
Yes, yeah. No, he's been.
I didn't know, I'm not looking at the chat. You see.
Yeah, he's been commenting in the chat, and he's made several very useful comments.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
So yes, he's given us the examples like he won't be working here from. We say that with will and will and won't.
But that's a will. That's a will, right?
And he won't be here on. He's not here on Sunday because that's something that's very much in the short term. I think we use. I hadn't really thought about it before, but just using the bare, simple present like he is or he isn't. We don't use it so much for things that are a long way in the future. We don't say I'm in Spain next year. We say I'm going to Spain next year, or I'm going to be in Spain next year. But I'm in Tokyo on Saturday. Well, today's Saturday, but I'm in Tokyo on Monday, or I'm in my office on Thursday. Those sound okay because it's the short-term planned future.
That's it. And like you said, tomorrow is Sunday. And also things like not so that students don't get some going down the wrong path here. We also say things like, I don't know, July 1st is Thursday this year. But that has nothing to do with the future. That's just a fact.
It's simply...
That's all that is.
And I think this tendency to use this simple form for the future comes when it's something, it's on the calendar. I mean, July the 1st is it's on the calendar. It's there.
Yeah. And if it's a long way into the future, it loses its factualness, doesn't it?
Right. Right.
It's too far away to be sure.
Right.